Hello, I'm Chris Williams from Read Comics They're Bad For You, the name of my YouTube channel. Or if you're watching this on BitChute or Library, the name of my two channels on those websites is Comic Freak. We're going to be talking about, the changes to Doctor Who after the Season 12 series finale. And I have nothing but to say but contempt for what the BBC have done to Doctor Who. They've completely destroyed the show. Doctor Who no longer really exists anymore. The ending to Doctor Who Season 12 makes some huge reveals, including answers to the Timeless Child mystery, and brings about some major changes to the BBC series Doctor Who Season 12, which once again stars Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor and has Chris Chibnall as the showrunner, has largely been defined by its many running mysteries. From the surprising return of the Master in the Season 12 premiere, the show has placed questions atop riddles wrapped inside enigmas. See how they use a bunch of buzzwords to basically try and spin the narrative? They're trying to make it sound as good as possible while actually not explaining anything here. Be it the Timeless Child, Brandon, the Lone Cyberman, or Ruth aka the Doctor, Doctor Who Season 12 has built up a lot of storylines revolving around keeping the Doctor and audiences largely in the dark over what's really going on. With Doctor Who Season 12's finale, The Timeless Children, it was time for at least some of those questions to be answered. I wish you didn't, because what we got was so horrible that it will probably no longer be able to be called Doctor Who in the future. Because it's literally, Jodie Whittaker's no longer the Doctor anymore. We'll explain it later on in the article I'm reading here, but basically, Jodie Whittaker's character, the Doctor, is no longer a Time Lord. They've completely and utterly ruined over 50 years worth of canon just so they could do that. Oh, by the way, they did make her original incarnation a female, at least the one we saw. It doesn't matter if she was male or female in the beginning, though, because she's no longer a Time Lord, so she's no longer the Doctor we know. Chibnall wasn't interested in neatly tying up every running plot thread, leaving some instead for Doctor Who Season 13, but he does, nevertheless, provide some big game-changing explanations. Here's what happens in Doctor Who. The mystery of the Timeless Child has been at the very core of Doctor Who Season 12. Even before then, it was a setup with a brief mention in Season 11, but this year it has underpinned the new run of episodes since the premiere's Spyfall. There, fans were given a tantalizing hint of what was to come, that there was a Timeless Child, a mystery person from Gallifrey who was removed from Time Lord history, but the reveal of which would change everything the Doctor knew about her past. Oh, it changed her past, all right. That she's no longer even the Doctor anymore is what it has done. Not to mention the reveal of the CIA about a, clandestine Doctor Who Gallifreyan society of spies who were using the Doctor for black ops missions. If that doesn't sound boring to you, then I don't know what does. Because, how original. An alien version of the CIA filled with alien spies. Usually that sounds good or maybe original, but Chibnall is a real thing going for spy fiction, huh? Well, I don't really like it in my Doctor Who at all because it just sounds trite and boring, at least the way Chibnall has written it. While there were various theories about who the Timeless Child may be, in the end it was the most obvious that came to pass. The Timeless Child is the Doctor. The Timeless Child was a young girl found by Tektron, a Semurgan, who left Gallifrey to explore other planets. She found the Timeless Child at the boundary to another dimension and brought her to Gallifrey, where she died, but to Tektron's surprise, regenerated. This regeneration and the subsequent ones was the Timeless Child went through would form the foundation for everything to come from the Time Lords of Gallifrey. At some point in her life, the Timeless Child regenerated into the being who would become the Doctor. The memories of all these past lives were reducted from the Gallifreyan matrix, with the Doctor instead starting anew. That's why she remembers being a child on Gallifrey and the previous regenerations she's been through, but nothing of those that came before. This is the biggest retcon yet to the Doctor's origin. She's not a Gallifrey Time Lord, but something much, much more. A timeless child from an unknown place who was the beginning of the Time Lords themselves, as well as this. It makes the idea of the Doctor's regeneration cycle, which came to an end with Matt Smith's Doctor before being granted a whole new set, rather moot, as the Timeless Child, not being a Time Lord, has unlimited lives, of which she lived at least 7 before William Hartnell's first Doctor. Fragments of this story were hidden in that of Brandon, the immortal Irish police officer whose life had parallels to the Doctor. Those splices of imagery were left behind by Tektron perhaps as the Master suggests, as an apology or gift to the Doctor for all that had happened and a clue to figuring it out. Of course, much of this is still unexplored by Doctor Who Season 12's ending. We still don't know where the Timeless Child originated from, or how and why she had regenerative powers in the first place, so there's likely more to come, and at the same time, the Timeless Child reveal supposed to completely destroy the Doctor ultimately has the opposite effect. She is even greater than previously thought, but at the same time doesn't need to be defined by the past anyway, and that is a complete and utter bunk. They've completely destroyed the Doctor. Other things they talk about in the article is, of course, Ruth and how her reveal as another female Doctor will be revealed later in other seasons, and no one really cares at all because the Doctor isn't the Doctor anymore, so Ruth might actually be the Doctor. Have you ever thought about that? Maybe the Jodie Whittaker Doctor we've been following isn't the Doctor at all. That mystery will have to come later, though, because all they do in the rest of the article is basically talk about how this mystery is so important and will be revealed later. Others are that the Doctor's companions, now living in a house that is actually a TARDIS, are waiting for the Doctor to break out of prison, who was sent to the prison after the ending of Season 12 because she had been caught by the Jadoon, because the Jadoon had been sent to basically, well, capture the Doctor and take her back to prison, because that's what they were doing with Ruth. Other mysteries are that what happened to the Master and the Time Lord Cybermen, and no one really cares. Of course the Master survived, even though in the article it says it's such a big mystery if the Master survived. Big, hairy, stinking deal. Of course he survived, but we don't care. That Master is, well, as bad as Jodie Whittaker's the Doctor, and, well, we don't have any in all sympathy for him if he were just to be gone forever. Give us back the real Master, huh? Any Master but him. Because he's just another example, like Jodie Whittaker's the Doctor, of how Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker have completely destroyed the Doctor. Or rather, the BBC have let agenda politics flood this series so much that it's just nothing but endless amounts of crap, with each new episode becoming worse than the one that came before. And we don't care that the next episode is going to have the Daleks in it. We did that last year with that other final episode with the Daleks for a special, and we hated it. We don't care about this season. We don't care about the Doctor anymore. What we do care about is giving us back the real Doctor, not Jodie Whittaker and her friend Chris Chibnall's complete and utter destruction of Doctor Who. Doctor Who was a sci-fi show that was more or less fantasy in space, but it was still good. At least that's what happened at least 12 years ago when David Tennant was the Doctor and continued with Matt Smith. But no! Now we can look back at Doctor Who and say that it's complete crap. That new Who has most definitely become the utter thing that everyone feared it would become under the leadership of Chris Chibnall. That's just become just utter garbage that no one wants to watch at all. That they've taken a good property like Doctor Who and turned it into Star Wars. Just because they don't want to stick to canon anymore. And that is the problem with the new writers of Who. They don't care about the 50 plus years. They don't care about the great characters and enemies. They don't care about the operatic storylines. They just care about their own agenda politics, and that's it. Doctor Who is dead. Let it remain buried. Maybe we'll get a new sci-fi show that's better than this in the future. But sadly, all we can really do now is just watch Doctor Who continue to burn. On the other hand, we have 53 plus years of Doctor Who, and we can enjoy the earlier seasons with no problem. So, just go and get your Doctor Who collections and just watch them and just enjoy them. Because we still have those and they can't take that away from us. Now, if you like this video, subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed because YouTube is going around unsubscribing people, so make sure you're still subscribed. If you're watching my videos but you're not subscribed, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Read comics, they're bad for you. Then go over to Library and BitChute and subscribe to my channels on those two websites. They're both named Comic Freak. Hit that bell for notifications, hit that like button, and leave some comments down below. And if you could you also please share this video, share it on Twitter, share it on Reddit, and share it on Facebook. Share it anywhere you think it'll do the most good, because YouTube is not going around promoting their own YouTube creators anymore. So please share this video. Now listen closely. Keep checking back in all my future videos for more information on my own upcoming independent comic book scumdogs. I'm Chris Williams, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another video or review.